welcome. Today we have David Dean joining us. He is the Chief Operating Officer of Marketing Solutions for COO Solutions Group. David has a distinguished career developing strategies to drive growth in competitive markets. David, welcome, and thank you for joining Credit Union Digest.
Thanks for having me, Larry. It's great to be here.
Great. All right, well, let's get started, David. Before we talk about your recent addition of Marquee Software Solutions to your portfolio, can you briefly discuss the Marketing Solutions strategic directions?
Yeah, absolutely. The marketing solution strategy for CUSG is, at least it sounds quite simple. It's really our objective is to become a one-stop shop for credit unions that are looking to build an integrated marketing technology stack. And when I say integrated marketing technology stack, that's a mouthful. But what I mean is modern day marketing, which we know is really heavily based on digital capabilities, often requires multiple different platforms and SaaS products to work together to provide the results and the business objectives and being able to monetize the data for the credit union. So our objective is to be able to help credit unions assemble that and identify the things that they need and put it all together in a way that drives results for them. The approach really starts by collecting all that member data, and most of it the credit union actually already has. We organize that into four different kind of buckets, if you will. There's demographic and geographic data, which is the data that most credit unions already have. And then there's the behavioral data, which is a bit more elusive, and the psychographic data, which is how members feel and the way they think, which is much more elusive, but actually becoming more and more accessible day by day for credit unions. And that data also often lives in these kind of siloed environments, as we know, the banking core being one of them, of course, but also the loan origination system, the interactions day by day with the website, the card processor, the digital banking platform, and then there's direct and indirect member feedback channels like surveys, secret shoppers, call center voice analytics systems, and other methods to really collect this data. So you can see it's all spread out all over the place. We bring it all together, we normalize it and make it usable. And then it's time to extract insights, because data for data's sake is, as we know, just a headache. So what we do is we start drawing analytics from that, and we use tools that help us extract attrition intent when maybe a member is about to leave, or even better is next best product for that elusive ROA that everybody wants. So we analyze it, and then we help with communications. We help with very targeted segments within that population, because today everybody wants to be communicated with in a very relevant way through the channel that they like to be communicated with at the time of day, with the right pictures, the right type of verbiage. How do you do that? You have to identify all these unique segments within your membership. This data enables us to do that, and then we use tools like CRMs and marketing automation systems to really very, very carefully and kind of very specifically channel the communications.
Wow, that's a lot. Thanks, David, though. I can really, understand, the appeal to credit unions of the one-stop shopping. So with that strategy, how does Marquee Software Solutions kind of fill out your firm's capabilities?
Yeah, that's a great question. I have to kind of go back a little bit to answer that question. So back in 2019, COO Solutions Group co-invested with PenFed in a full-service advertising agency called White 64. This enabled us to really support our clients with marketing strategy and a full suite of media and creative services from an agency that really understood credit unions. And that really matters. Not every agency can really effectively understand and connect with the culture of credit unions. But this agency had been working with PenFed for so long that they really got it. So we love that agency. And then later that year, we acquired another company called MemberXP. And MemberXP, you may have heard of it. MemberXP is a SaaS product that helps credit unions optimize their credit union member experience. This is something that's getting a lot of attention lately. Credit unions really understand that credit unions have always been great at service-centric cultures, but really understanding how members experience those services collectively is really, really important. So we have this advantage at COO Solutions Group, whereby we have contracts in place with over 2,000 credit unions in America. So we have this unique perspective and this ability to really hear straight from the horse's mouth, from credit unions sub 100 million to 20 billion plus, to really help us understand what their unique and specific needs are. We can
Right.
sit around all day chatting in a room thinking about all the things that we think credit unions need, but until you hear it directly, you really don't know. And as we listened last year, particularly as communications become increasingly challenged with the pandemic, we realized that there was a few gaps in our direct capabilities. We knew where to get these solutions, but we didn't have them ourselves. Like I
Right.
said, we really wanted to be able to be a one-stop shop. So we started looking around. That's when we discovered Marquee. And the great thing about Marquee is Marquee actually had all of those solutions. Everything that we were lacking, they had, and they were already all integrated, which was another thing we kept hearing from credit unions was, we know where to find these solutions, but they don't all work together very well. And particularly, they don't work together for financial services with our cores. So they needed a solution like Marquee, and it was just a perfect fit for our strategy.
Great. Thank you, David. As Marketing Solutions continues to build out its services to deliver on that one-stop shopping strategy, could you give us a few examples of the solutions that Marquee provides to credit unions?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. It's really kind of progressive. So it starts with a product that they call ExecuTracks. And ExecuTracks is what's commonly known as an MCAF, or a marketing customer information file. And this is what I was talking about earlier. This is a tool that pulls all this disparate data in from all these different sources that the credit union already has access to, but is often very unusable because it's just all in these different buckets, these different silos. So the MCI pulls all that together and makes it really usable for marketing communication purposes. And then they have another product called CallTracks integrated with that MCIF, and that's a CRM. And the CRM, as we know, is great for cross-selling and communications, but also really understanding that holistic member journey. Recognizing those best products that we talked about, and even fighting attrition. And then on top of that, the segmentation that we talked about earlier, they have this a tool called Documatics, and that's a marketing automation tool, which is really fantastic. Again, all designed specifically for financial institutions, which really matters. And that marketing automation tool, it's not what many people think, which is just an email marketing tool. The marketing automation, smart, intelligent marketing automation, is all communications. So it's your direct mail mixed with your email and your digital communications through digital banking. And it's how do we communicate, when do we communicate, what do we say, and so forth. So Documatics, great tool, and then they layer on top of that something called OnTracks, and I think credit unions particularly appreciate this because OnTracks is essentially supplemental strategic support. So it's not always viable to go out and hire a strategist on your team. So what they do is they have this staff of just really expert strategists, and then you can use a portion of their time allocated to your credit union. So helping you pull all of this together and execute on it. You can have great tools, but if you don't have the manpower to use them and the sophistication and capabilities, they don't do much. So this is what really brings it all together. Great.
David, I can see how these services would provide really powerful benefits to your credit union clients. And so thank you for sharing Marketing Solutions strategy and the value add of Marquee Solutions for credit unions.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Great. In closing, thank you for joining Credit Union Digest. If you have any additional questions for David, please see the link in his bio.